I noticed there was a missing link to their progress.
So his subconscious mind is just trying to keep him safe.
When was the last time you guys tried new food?
So if this has worked for me on this profound level, how can I then facilitate this for other people and hold space for other people?
Welcome to the Victorian Small Business Network, your go-to podcast for small business owners looking to connect, share, and grow. Here we bring together the heart and hustle of entrepreneurship, sharing real stories, insights, and tips with fellow business owners. Whether you're just starting out or looking to scale, we're here to help build a supportive community that helps you take your business to the next level. Let's dive into inspiring conversations, expert advice, and everything you need to succeed in today's world of business. In today's podcast, we're going to cover getting mental and emotional health, wellness, and delicious Brazilian food for the soul. We have the wonderful Hilma Fitzgerald, hypnotherapist, helping people with anxiety and other mental health issues, with special focus on helping people to quit smoking and vaping and improving sports performance. Jade Flint, Jade from Empowered Self. Jade is a powerhouse in group facilitation. She runs heart math, self-defense classes, wellness, and women's circles. Leona Teora Massi, kinesiologist and personal trainer. And Kelly Alexandra Borges Lima, Brazilian finger food extraordinaire. All right, let's go with the first question. Leona,
Yes.
what are the benefits of kinesiology?
So as a kinesiologist, we believe that the body can heal itself and we don't need to rely on medication. So that's probably one of the big things. Like, as it's a holistic therapy, we focus on just natural essences like bush flower essences, aromatherapy, crystals, to help work through our problems that we have and not using medication. So the benefits are not using medication and just doing it naturally.
So what is kinesiology?
So, it's a holistic therapy that aims at getting to the root cause of issues, whether it's physical pain, it could be emotional, psychological, digestive issues. So we don't just look at symptoms, we look at the body as a whole. So body, mind, spirit, those three key areas that we address.
And how can kinesiology be used along with allied health professionals?
So we look at it as complementing other practitioners, where physios, osteos, chiropractors, they look at the physical side of the actual issue, like muscle tissue, the spine, stuff like that. We look at the emotional context to it. So we complement them where they might not be addressing those parts. So we look at the other side of it as, like I said, holistically, the body as a whole. So we feel like we can work in with other practitioners. And then if we feel like they need further referral and they haven't been seeing other allied health practitioners, we will refer on. So we don't diagnose, we're not doctors, so we don't diagnose, so we don't claim to cure illnesses either. We just work on helping facilitate the client to help themselves and take that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what is Empowered Self?
Empowered Self is a multifaceted company. So we facilitate programs for people, individuals and organizations to step into an embodied way of living. So whether that is through confidence practices, through embodiment practices, through techniques to manage stress and emotions, there's multiple different ways that we can go about it.
What are some of the breakthroughs your clients experience?
That's a really good question. I recently had a lady in class that told me that she couldn't scream. So that was the first client that I'd worked with that had said that in a class situation. So what we did is throughout the techniques that we did in class, bit by bit, I asked her to step into and feel into the space of her belly. And each time she dropped her voice further and further into the body. And by the end of the lesson, she could actually scream a whole lot louder than most of the people in the room.
What?
So that was, it was pretty amazing that, those kind of breakthroughs can happen in class. And if you give people the permission, I guess, to kind of hold space in that safe container to go there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What do you think the contribution was for her not to know that she was capable of that?
So I think that her conditioning was a big part of it. So growing up in a home that, you've got the inside voice, and then going to a school where, to an all-girls school, there was kind of multi reasons that she wasn't able to kind of step into, or felt that she could step into it. And we hold a pretty loud class. So bit by bit, I was just sort of unraveling those things, and kind of just each time she would come to the front, just kind of give her a little bit more permission to step into it, and a belief in herself that she could go there, which was pretty cool when she did.
Yeah, nice.
So what made you become an empowerment facilitator?
I think when you sort of step into doing things like holding space for people and facilitating their healing, it normally comes from a personal experience. So a few years, obviously during the pandemic, I was living up a mountain in a cottage by myself. I was dealing with a lot of grief at the time, and bit by bit I kind of wanted to, I guess, move through that, but also kind of dive deeper into healing and sort of unraveling those parts to not take them into the future. So as I spent 3,500 hours in podcasts to find the journey, made my way to HeartMath, and HeartMath, through the HeartMath Institute, learned the teachings of how to manage your stress and emotions and how to feel them and move through them rather than suppress them. And my heart was blown wide open through those practices. And then I went, wow. So if this has worked for me on this profound level, how can I then facilitate this for other people and hold space for other people? And then that then led me to, how do I then hold that space? I then found circle facilitation. I was like, wow, in circles I can incorporate the mind, body, spirit, again, the same connection. So through the physical, through holding space, and then through the HeartMath teachings, which is all giving them the techniques of how to move through those emotions and those stuck thought patterns, changing the paradigm. So yeah, and then I ended up going, wow, all these amazing tools, and then obviously you go further and further into your teachings and add more practices. Yeah.
Always learning.
Forever a student.
Yeah,
forever.
agreed.
Yeah. One of your biggest requests is for people that want to quit smoking or vaping. How does hypnotherapy help?
Hypnotherapy helps work with the subconscious mind, where all your programs and beliefs are set in stone. Well, so people think. But with a deep level of relaxation, you can get to a brainwave level, theta brainwave level, where you can really do some work with the subconscious, those neural pathways. And that's done not through direct suggestion, sometimes direct suggestion, but through storytelling, visualization, future pacing, just empowering, getting them to see, hear and feel what it feels like to be a non-smoker. So they're ready to take that next step. Basically, the nicotine is out of their body in 3 days. So I help them with strategies to cope with that 3 days. And then the rest is habit. So beforehand, I talk to them like a week beforehand and give them strategies to work on the habit, which is things like smoking the other hand, so it makes it feel uncomfortable, to put the cigarettes away in the lighter in different spots, so it's a bit of a chore to go and get them. So when something's a chore, you tend not to want to do it anymore. Get angry at the cigarette because I don't know if you're like me, I don't like getting told what to do. So that cigarette's bossing them around, making them pay for it and trying to kill them at the same time. So it's a toxic relationship which has to end. So I just give it to them hard.
Really hard.
I make them accountable, that they're coming in and they're going to be throwing their cigarettes or vaping stuff in the bin at the end of the session. They're going to write a breakup letter and shred it at the end of the session as well, so their subconscious mind knows it's over.
Wow.
And just and then cement everything in the hypnosis. Just really explore how good life can be free from smoking, that burden that they're carrying, the smell, much money they're going to save, all those sort of things. So that's basically how it helps.
Wow.
But they come to me when they're at their threshold.
Yes.
They're determined to give up, and I just need to help them see the light.
What's the just the personal has someone come in with like, what's the most they smoke in a week?
Pack and a half.
A pack and a half?
A day. Sorry.
A day? Oh.
Yeah. So I had one client come in recently whose boss actually paid for them to come in because they were smoking a pack and a half a day. So can you imagine how many breaks they were taking? So anyway, a good boss and paid for them. He was smoking a pack and a half. He's 38 years old and just been told he's got emphysema and he's got 3 young kids. So he was at that threshold, and at the end of the session, you could just see he was like, yep, this is all good. And then I called him a week later and he was so happy. He said it was so easy. He didn't even crave it. He was just ready. That relief was enough for him to just walk away from it, that freedom that he could now have.
Wow. Can I ask a question? How many sections do you need? Like,
It's a one
enough.
session. Yep.
Oh, really?
Because they're ready to give up. So the pre-talk on the phone, if they're not ready, I don't take them.
Makes sense.
So you explain that to them that there's only one session. If you're not
It's
quite
a
at that
2-hour
level-
session.
Okay,
So but it's one session and that's it. You walk out there's no ifs or buts about it.
Yeah.
They're buts.
Excuse the pun.
They're walking out smoke free.
Nice.
Do you think this will work for fat people as well? Like
For
me?
weight management?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
but
there's
one session will be enough as well?
No, not one session.
Okay.
The quit smoking's very, it's got a program to it.
Okay.
But the weight management it's coping strategies. So you got to find out what the coping strategies are. There might be some trauma involved. There might be something that happened when they were a child. So you got to address the trauma, get that cleaned up first, and then the weight management looks after itself.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Nice.
Are you available this afternoon?
For you, of course.
Thank you.
I'm interested in the sports performance aspect. Can you give me an example of a success story?
Yeah, I love the sport performance stuff because I've been in sports all my life. So lots of athletics and netball, and now my 2 younger girls are swimming at a state level, and it's really about mindset there. I've got an interesting story about a guy who came in for putting golf. He grew up a really good golfer and he was on the verge of making him pro, but all of a sudden he couldn't putt. And so it was just like a pro. So he he didn't come in then. This is when he was younger. So he was about 17. And then now he was like 56 or something. He came in because he still couldn't putt. So we worked out, going back from when he was 17, when he was just about to go pro, that he would have to move away and travel overseas away from his family. And that was too much for him to bear. So his subconscious mind is just trying to keep him safe. So just sabotage the putting. So he couldn't make it. So then we had to go back, reframe why that happened. Yep. And then he could start letting it go and start putting again.
I can definitely relate to that because with kinesiology, we delve into past resolution. So something that's holding them back from when they were younger, we find an age and work on that. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So from 0 to 7, you're walking around to this theta brainwave level, which is at all the time. So in hypnotherapy, you're trying to relax them enough to get to that theta brain. So first, like right now, we're in beta brainwave level. Then you close your eyes, you're in alpha, and that's just cutting out the external noise. And then if you relax even further, you get into theta. But from 0 to 7, you're walking around in theta brainwave level the whole time, just working out how the world works, how I'm treated. So if something traumatic happened to you in those days, your beliefs are set there. So you'd probably
those fundamental years. Yeah,
those fundamental years.
Yeah.
And they come and trigger when you're older. You trigger down the track. So you've got to be able to find out what they are, go back and reframe, let it go. Can't change that anything happened, but you can reframe it.
Yep.
Powerful.
If someone doesn't like speaking like in public, you said you can help?
Yes.
Okay. So can you go into more details about that?
Yeah. So
That's
I
a
had
huge
someone,
one.
It is. It's quite
I
popular.
think a lot of us are like that.
So is fear of driving. I don't know. Anyway, public speaking is a good one because it's about confidence. Again, I had a client recently who came in and he was very knowledgeable. He was in IT, cyber security, and had a really powerful job, and he had to address meetings of 15 people like monthly, and he would get so much anxiety about it the week before. His heart would race, he'd sweaty, he'd have all this rumination going on, he couldn't sleep. And then when he had to present, he just spoke really quickly, blah, blah, forced everything out just to get it over and done with. And no one understood what he was talking about. There was no point. His credibility's, gone. So we've got lots of strategies to deal with that. So there's a bit of a program that he has to work on beforehand, leading up to. So we work on that. And then we worked out that when he was younger, he had to stand up in front of the class and deliver a project. And he must have mucked it up or something because everyone laughed at him. And then subsequently he got bullied after that. So again, the subconscious mind is just trying to doesn't know what's real and what's not real. It just tries to keep you safe.
That's
right.
That's why you get phobias and things like that.
Yeah.
They don't make sense, but your subconscious mind is trying to save you.
Yeah.
So all that was happening, he was, trying to protect him from being laughed at and
Humiliated
bullied.
again.
So then we have to go back, reframe that incident that happened so he can get through it and let it go.
I heard one strategy with public speaking, like to help people overcome that nervousness, is to imagine that everybody that they're talking to is naked.
Yeah. But also
heard
just
that one too.
to,
So
That's
they
great.
just lightens up their, and they
Yeah.
just go into a different, frequency, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everyone's vulnerable, not just me.
Yeah, not just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like they're sitting there naked, I can relax.
but also they just want to know, they're just trying to learn from you, like just try to relax and give them that information. But also exercise is really important beforehand because if you've got that anxiety, that fear flight sort of anxiety, you need to get it out. So I recommend doing star jumps beforehand, like 50 star jumps, just to get that adrenaline out.
Yep.
So then you can relax. Chewing gum is quite good because when you're in that state as well, you don't do any saliva. There's no saliva because it's in the fear flight. So the chewing gum helps. So you're sending messages to the brain that everything's okay and you can calm down. There's breathing techniques that you can do. Just refocusing, practicing, really knowing your content and, practice as well. And visualizing and spending time seeing what you want, how you want to be, not focusing on what you want, not what you don't want.
Yep.
Because a lot of people focus on what they
the
don't
problem,
want. You're the
the
problem. And then it gets
solution.
bigger and bigger and bigger and you attract
And
more
that's
and
what
more
you're
more
problems.
of it, yeah.
You've got to be that positive
Instead
side.
of putting that negative out there so you get more of the negative back,
Yeah.
you just reframe and focus on it, sending out the positive affirmation of that you already have it.
Yep.
I had a conversation with my client because I trained a guy this morning. I do PT as well. And the exact same conversation I had with him, he was talking about all his problems and the world's just bad and this and that. And I said to him, if you keep looking at it that way, that's how it's going to be for you.
Yeah.
Like, you need to change your perspective.
Yeah.
That's right.
Focus on what's good, what's happening, what's going well for you at the moment. If you keep focusing on the problem, you're going to get more problems.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, it's big.
Same with negative people in your life. If you attract the wrong people because of how you've been brought
It's
up
because you're
or
on that
something.
lower level vibration, so it's not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yes.
Now, I don't have any questions or topics for you, but
Because
food.
I have questions for you guys. The first question that I want to ask it is, what you never have before in your life? Can you remember?
Never had it in my life.
When you tried new things. I think one of yours was my last new thing.
Okay, it was like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like trying new food all the time, except trying to pinpoint when was the last time.
Okay.
6 months.
Okay, 6 months. Do you have an idea?
Oh.
Or you never try?
I'm very, I call myself a bit of a foodie, so I love food. I like to try new food all the time, but it has been a while since I've tried something new.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'd probably say over a year.
Oh,
I know.
a lot.
What on earth?
Okay. Why I ask that? Because normally when I go to somewhere to show my products, everybody's afraid my food. And I promise it's not scary. And don't buy it. Actually, you need to buy it. But I ask because I want to open your minds to try new things every day.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do that, for sure you can be more happy. And doesn't matter in the area. Like, of course, food, we cannot be related to food to be happy, but for sure it's a connection. We have it when we share some plates with someone.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
100%.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
And the other question is, except in André, do you guys have tried Brazilian food?
Yes.
Any kind? Oh, which one?
Brazilian barbecue.
Yeah.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah.
Do you remember another thing with the barbecue? Like rice or...
It was mainly the meat that I remember, but
Okay.
everything we tried was just all complementary to each other. But I remember
good.
a whole lot of meat coming around, different types of meat.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That's good. And
Yeah.
have
I've
you tried?
also had the Brazilian barbecue. Yeah.
Oh,
I've tried
very
that.
famous.
That was a few years ago. Not by choice. It just
Not by choice, guys.
yeah, it wasn't by choice. Like I loved it.
Okay, good.
But in saying that, I don't eat red meat anymore.
Okay.
Don't hate me. I don't have anything against people that eat meat either. But so I like the chicken and the fish, the salmon. I think they had salmon and chicken. Yeah, it was
Okay.
delicious.
Cool.
Loved it. Yeah.
And do you have a try?
What are those plantain things or something? Is that Brazilian?
Which
The
one?
banana plantains or something?
Maybe African.
Yeah.
No,
I don't remember,
Africans
sorry.
use a lot of plantain in their food.
somewhere. No,
Yeah.
No worries.
no.
So this is why I didn't send you the questions, because I want a very natural answer.
Love that.
Yeah. And I
Do
want
you
the
also have
reaction.
natural samples? Is that
But if the next time will be the same group, I can bring one and you guys will share together and tell people how it is. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
My mouth is salivating
That's
already.
good.
Like,
And I have vegetarian option and
Lovely.
vegan option, so you'll be covered.
Thank you.
So yeah, guys, whatever you want to ask.
So how is it do you have a restaurant or do you have a home delivery? What's
Okay. I'm not the owner of the restaurant, but I have a few restaurants here selling my products.
okay?
I don't have a shop, but you can find as well my products at the supermarkets, normally IGAs and a few small delis. And if you want to order directly with me, you can as well.
Wow.
And of course, can be delivered too. So, yeah, easier.
Yeah, so
easy.
where you're at with the independent grocers, you're national. Is it national or is it in Victoria mostly?
Yes,
stock?
I sell Perth, Sydney, Tasmania, and we are trying to get Darwin as well. So yeah, I reply your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how did you get your products stocked in there on the shelves?
Okay. I was working at the IGA in 2020, and when the COVID hit, and I already was doing my products, but selling just B2B, B2C, sorry. And then one of my boss told me, why you didn't put in the shelf? And I was, whoa, it's a big step. Do you think I will sell it? And he was, for sure, put it there. And then I tried, and yeah,
wow.
I'm still there.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So what sort of foods can you explain?
Of course, it's a Brazilian finger food. They are small. They are made with flour and very simple recipe. You can find in the internet, but if you want, I can teach you as well. And we put a filling inside. We have chicken, cheese, ham and cheese, corn, hearts of palm. It's the vegan options. I don't know if you guys know one. It's from a tree from Brazil. It's delicious. And yeah, that's it. When deep fry. Very simple. Simple? It is?
Yeah.
For me, it is.
What's your favorite food?
A favorite food or my food?
Yep, favorite Brazilian food.
Favorite Brazilian food, it is feijoada.
Fishwad.
Good job. It's black beans with pork inside. They cook all together with rice, and it's delicious. Take hours to cook it, but it is really, really delicious. But if it's about my products, my favorite is like a sausage roll, similar.
Yeah.
But feijoada, it's really good. You should try it.
Can you spell that?
I will write down later. I don't know how to spell. Sorry.
So do you do catering as well as stocking?
We do catering. We have a few options. You can order and go by delivery to you, or I can go to the place you are doing the meeting or the party or whatever the event you're having,
Or a circle,
and I will fry
or a
at the
circle.
moment. It will be better, of course.
Yeah.
Do you do cooking classes?
I didn't.
Not yet. Not yet. Not
There's
yet.
an idea.
I'm planning to teach people how to do it, but I didn't start yet. But it's a plan for 2 years.
I'm buying a ticket.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Me too. With my PT clients, I noticed there was a missing link to their progress. And I felt like the emotional, psychological side needed to be addressed to help them as a whole. And then one of my mentors is a personal trainer / sports kinesiologist. So he introduced me to it, and I was like, wow, this stuff is amazing, because he incorporated it into his PT, where he was doing injury prevention, rehab, and all these things to prevent his clients from getting injured, just doing normal day-to-day things and everything. I thought, that is so cool. I want to learn that. So yeah, I got into kinesiology that way.
Yeah, I have a very similar story actually. So teaching martial arts to all sorts of walks of life of people for over 20 years from, different generations, different backgrounds. And I found that whilst teaching the classes, there was something something more that they wanted from that facilitation. So the physical was there and they're embodied in the class, but they wanted the spiritual and the emotional stuff as well. Mm-hmm. So, they'd ask questions and talk about their fears and their hopes. So it was like, what else can I add as another service to when I am teaching? And then a platform to do that in would be a circle. So you can incorporate some of the movement and then talk to them about embodiment practices and spirituality, and then hold it in a relaxed environment where we can kind of learn from one another, because that's kind of the purpose of circle, is that you sit in a circle. No one's the leader of the circle. Obviously, it's a facilitated space so that you have a program that you run through, but it's a very, very much a sharing of wisdom that you kind of share from each other's experiences and lives. So very similar sort of story, I think, you and I.
Nice. Yeah.
What about you, Hilma? How did you get into hypnotherapy?
That's very strange. My friends laugh at me now that they know that I'm a hypnotherapist. So my mum's a hypnotherapist, and I was helping her with her social media and her admin, etc., working with Andre as well. And I thought it was a bit woo-woo. And after a while, all the feedback she was getting and all the reviews, I thought, oh, this is pretty nice. And I was just so thankful for the help. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. And I thought, and then Mum asked, do you want to study it? And I said, oh, no. And then the opportunity came up again, and I said, I could do it. Sport performance, I'd love that. I can't ever do quit smoking, no, that's disgusting. And now it's my favourite thing to do.
It's funny how things work out.
I know, but yeah, I just thought, I'll give it a go. And then I studied it for a few years and, right into it now.
Yeah. Kelly, how did you get into it?
Very funny history, because I was a professor. I think I still am. And I received Kitudo flavors as a gift. A friend of mine changed her mind, and she go back to Brazil. And she gave me Kitudo flavors. She said, Kelly, you can do it. You are helping me all the time. You know how to do it. And I was, bullshit, I cannot do that. I don't know how to fry an egg. How can I cook? And she was, no, you're very capable. And so she teach me everything. And then here I am.
Wow.
That's really cool.
That's
It's
amazing.
crazy. But I love it, guys.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying on the drive here that you were nervous because when you're doing speaking, you're worried about your English and all the rest of it. But Kelly actually knows French,
Just a little bit.
a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Italian.
Multilingual.
English, obviously, and
Thank
Portuguese.
She's dominating all the Latin languages.
Trying to.
Wow.
I'm
and
joking.
How long have you been here in Australia?
We'll complete 8 years.
How do you know all those languages?
In my country, I need to choose some language to study.
Yeah.
And then I start with French. And then when we growing on the studies, I don't want to learn French anymore. I want to Spanish. And it's a little bit similar to Portuguese. So feel more like familiar, more easier, but not really. And then we moved to here, to Australia. So that's how I learn English. And the Italian, because I know a lot of friends, they are Italian. So it's easier to talk to them. But I don't speak. Yeah, yes. I don't speak, but I can understand.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So Jade is part of a legacy family of black belts. So it was your dad that first started doing taekwondo, and he's black belt. He's raised all his kids. They're all black belts. And his grandkids, are they all black belts?
They're on their way there, yeah.
They're training.
Yes.
They're training.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give us a lowdown. Like, was it high anxiety anytime at home because everybody knew how
So people, flipping over couches, jumping from the 3rd floor, jumping down at people. It was very physical growing up. Yeah. So Dad came and helped build what Taekwondo is today in Melbourne, in Victoria. And he's now a 9th Dan Grandmaster, which is really, really cool. It's the highest you can go. 9th Dan. So he has 9 black belts.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
So just to put that in perspective, so you get your black belt and then you have to wait a year and then you get your 2nd Dan and then you have to wait 2 years and then you get your 3rd Dan and then you have to wait 3 years, etc., etc. So he's waited a long time between.
A very long time to
between
get to the
dans.
levels. Yeah. So it was a very different environment growing up with a house full of martial arts people. Yeah.
Where did you grow up? 'Cause I noticed one down the road here.
Yeah, Taekwondo since the 2000 Olympics is a very recognised sport. So there's lots of schools around that you can practice at. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very
And
cool.
Jade, you're a 7th Dan black belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you practice?
But I'm really a butterfly.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee kind of thing.
Maybe a little bit.
So do you train all the time or?
Yeah, so I've been teaching since 1995.
Right.
Yeah, so we continue to teach, and part of Empowered Self is self-defense instruction. So I've worked with Andre quite a bit over the years, and she's biting her bottom lip because I'm not sure if she's mentioned that on this podcast before, but she's also a weapon and a 4th Dan, 5th Dan, 5th Dan.
I got to 5th. Yeah, I got to 5th.
Only 5th?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Andre.
I know.
So when I met Andre, she was a fab 14 or 15-year-old wearing a bandana and looking like very kind of cool and tough. Back in the day, we used to train together in black belt class. And yeah, she was a natural at Taekwondo, very, very flexible, amazing kicks and
Yeah.
fast.
Wow.
I liked showing off. That was about it. If
Yeah.
you put me in an actual fight, I'd be like, oh, please. I don't like to fight. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think every kid or every person should learn something?
Absolutely. Yeah. I always said, every girl, but yeah, every kid should have some sort of background in it because it also teaches the self-discipline, and that discipline overflows into daily life as well, not just discipline on the martial art mat. It overflows into their studies, and obviously everything that you're learning in the Taekwondo dojang, you're then, all of your agility, your balance, your flexibility, your coordination helps with all the other sports that you play, that you're doing in school as well. So we always found the martial art kids were like the really sort of the well-disciplined, well-focused. When someone asked me the question the other day and said, do you think all martial art people have that really kind of, they can make decisions. They're quite decisive. They know what they're going to do. They're quite driven people. And I said, yeah, that's a really interesting point, that I think through learning martial arts for a period of time, you do get that innate discipline that again overflows into all the other parts of your life. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So cool.
Good question.
And there is a fascinating thing because you can kind of, if someone said to me, I've done martial arts, I can usually tell which martial art by the way they stand or the way they move.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because of the different styles, it's so ingrained, because if you start it when you're really little, your body moves a certain way, or like the karate people are really like bulls.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Whereas taekwondo people are kind of a little bit like...
They're flexy. They've got this flexibility in their legs and their knees. You're like, you walk behind one and you go, that has to be a martial. That's a taekwondo person.
Yeah. It's so interesting how martial arts just really, when you get into it at a young age, it affects a lot of different things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also affects when the salt falls off the third shelf in the pantry. When you open the pantry and it comes flying out and you just drop your hand and you catch it without even looking, you're like, oh, wow, I'm still a ninja.
Love that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think I don't realise, I think I'm still 16, because when I leave things open, if it's high, I think, can I kick that?
Kick it.
Can I kick that closed? Out of the people that you've helped, because, you know, and people that have tried foods, I think you could probably use this as an example. What is something memorable from a person that you've worked with?
So I had a lady come see me a few months ago. She had a lot of issues going on, but her main one was back pain for kinesiology. And she said she's had the pain ongoing for like 10 years. And after one session with me, she said the next day she had no pain. And she was like, this is odd. Let's just see what happens. And then 4 days later, she still had no pain. And she was just, you know, gobsmacked. She goes, I don't know. She messaged me, because I follow up with my clients, and she messaged me. She goes, Leona, I don't know what to say. She goes, what did you do to me? But she goes, 4 days later, she goes, I've had this back pain for years and it's just gone. And I was just like, wow, I'm glad I could help you with that. I mean, she did the work too. Like, I facilitated it, but, you know, that felt really good that I was able to help her, because she says it's been like, most days it's like 5 out of 10. On her worst days, it's 10 out of 10 excruciating. And then it just was gone.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty memorable. Yeah,
nice.
In my case, I love when they say to me, Kelly, your food is good like my grandmother, when they compare to grandma's food, because for me it's huge, you know. It's not any food, it's a great food. They grow up eating something amazing and lovely, because I think when we talk about grandma, it's about love. So when they send me text like that, I was, oh my goodness, I'm so good. No, I'm joking. Cut this part, please. I'm happy when they text me something like that, because I can feel that I can do the difference in their life, because we are far away from our country, from our family, and this is the way to keep connection and keep love. Maybe. Yeah. So I'm really, really happy when they send me texts like that. Yeah, it's really, awesome. Really good. Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly. Hilma.
I'm going to say my very first client sticks with me a lot, because she came in because she got hit by a car and had trauma from that, couldn't cross this road. So we worked on that, and then she came in again, and I thought we were working on that again. She goes, no, all fixed. Now I want to work on fear of flying. So then worked on that, fear of flying. Then she goes, thought she's going to come back in and keep going on that one. No, now I want to work on this, that, and the other. So she came in for about 5 sessions and cleaned up about 5 things.
Wow. Didn't
So
even
good.
think you could,
And I was all nervous and everything, and she just helped me get that, okay, I can do this.
That was your confirmation.
Yeah. She goes, who would have thought? Hypnotherapy.
amazing.
Sorry, just want to compliment something. Normally, doesn't matter what is the profession, I think all of us have a doubt inside of us about what we can do, and if we are doing correctly things. And it's so good when I heard someone sharing, because sometimes I think it's just with me.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Because I doubt myself a lot, and being here talking to you guys, with you as well, it is very good for me, because this show me how we are capable of to do it things. And so this is crazy, but I know it's from the heart.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thanks, Kelly. Jade, do you want to share a story about someone?
I don't know if it's a particular story, but it's probably a cohort. Over the years, I think the most rewarding classes have been working with either outreach kids or kids with disabilities, people with disabilities, not just children, but watching their growth and their unfolding, I guess, and them being able to achieve the milestones of what, their other classmates are able to achieve. Has definitely made the whole journey worth it. Really, that's the most rewarding piece, is to work with a cohort of people, and they come in all different packages, as you can imagine. But if they feel, and a lot of the drive is from parents as well. So parents deciding that, yes, my child has this disability, but I refuse to not have them in the regular program, and the drive of parents. To hold those beliefs for their children, help to kind of, just elevate. And then we just facilitate that and watch them get their black belt is the best thing ever. Like tears, full tears. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Nice. Well, on the teary note, let's sign out, and then you guys are free to exit the prison.
The capsule.
The podule. Thanks for tuning in to the VSBN podcast. We hope today's episode gave you the inspiration and insights to help your business succeed. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe. Connect with us by visiting vsbn.com.au. You'll see the profiles of today's lovely members, and you'll be able to engage with them if you have further questions. Until next time, keep connecting.